Hello, grade 12s, and welcome to this wonderful lesson on this afternoon of July 29th, 2020. Today, the skill that we are learning is the summary writing skill. I know usually you guys dread writing summaries, and I can understand why. I think part of the reason for that would be that summary writing in general is usually problematic because you feel as though you're limited in how to express ideas and things like that. And that's true. That's exactly what we want you to do, because the issue here is not on the expression of ideas. We don't want you to express your ideas. We don't want you to write more than is required. We want to see your word economy skills, as well as how well you're able to adapt to change with regards to taking a 400 word essay or 400 word piece and condense it to perhaps 50 words and so on, right? But in grade 12, because the focus is on 90 words, of course, your passage or the passage that you would have to condense would be a lot shorter. So, sorry, a lot longer. Okay, so let's see what today's lesson holds for us. Okay, so today's lesson is on summary skills, right? And remember, this is section B of paper 1. Okay, so home language paper 1, section C asks you to write a summary. We ask you here, and here we test your summary writing skills, as well as how well you're able to condense a written piece or a large written piece into a couple of words. Yes, usually it is 90 words, like I said. I know it's a very, very small number of words, but yes, to be honest with you, it is possible, and it definitely can be done. Okay. So today's lesson focuses on a couple of things. We're going to be doing summary skills introduction. I know that you guys have been taught summaries already, but I mean, perhaps some learners haven't been to school since March. So I can imagine that, maybe some of your teachers were going to be teaching summary skills, but they didn't get the opportunity to. So here you have it. Okay, then we've got do's and don'ts. And then after that, we have an example summary, and we'll also have an example examination question. Okay, so like I said, it is in paper 1 of your English home language paper, and it is section B. So what are summaries? Summaries, remember, summarizing is how we take larger selections of text and reduce them to their essentials. The gist, the key ideas, the main points are worth noting and remembering. Look at this very carefully. You need to take a text to its gist, to its main sort of point. Okay, and remember, summarizing skills, right? We're looking for what? We're looking for a couple of things: the gist, the key ideas, the main points that are worth noting and worth remembering. Do not forget that, please. At the same time, summary is the condensed account of a longer reading text. The condensed account of a longer reading text, of a what? Of a longer reading text. Remember, summary is the important skill for all subject. Okay, so don't forget that, please. How do we do it? So we strip away the extra words and examples. Yes, that's exactly what we do. We strip away the extra words and examples. Okay, we focus on the heart of the matter. We focus on the heart of the matter. We focus on the actual core reason of that particular summary. Like, the point of the summary is what? Of that particular text. What is the point of that particular text? And then we try to find the keywords and phrases that still manage to capture the gist that we've read, of what we've read. So we still have to do that. We still have to look for those keywords. We look for those key phrases that, that manage to capture the gist of whatever it is that we've read. And then remember, we are trying to capture the main ideas and the crucial details necessary for supporting them. All right, let's look. Your usual mistakes. Hey, grade 12s, yeah, no. You see, like your usual mistakes are as follows. You write down everything. We are not interested in writing down. You see, I think this is the one part of English where the less you write, the better. The less you account for, the better. Okay. The point of summarizing is to remove stuff. That's all we're asking you to do. Usually, remember, sometimes you can have a what's this, a perfect piece, so a perfect passage. That's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. And we will ask you to summarize a perfect passage. That's okay, that's exactly the point of that, because sometimes a person can come and give the most perfect speech, and I would say, okay, fine, please can you tell me what the point of that speech was? I think just summarize that speech into 4 bullets. That time the speech was like 15 minutes long. You see what I mean? So that's what you need to do. Learn to remove like a lot of stuff. So number 2, you write down next to nothing. Hey, yeah, no, like that's the thing. Yeah, you guys would just write down next to nothing. Just write down next to nothing. And that's it. And that's not the point of summary writing, guys, okay? Also, you give incomplete sentences, especially in the flow paragraphs, guys. In the flow paragraphs, you would write incomplete sentences, or you would write, yeah, I mean, you would write like phrases or fragments, of sentences. While that's kind of encouraged while you're planning, right? Your final piece should not be like that. Your final piece should be as free flowing as possible, following to the maximum language rules as far and as much as you can. All right. Okay. And then you also write way too much. And yeah, sometimes you don't even write enough. And by writing enough, it's not even about writing, less. It's about not writing enough of what is needed from you. So sometimes you repeat ideas. Sometimes you'd see that the first 3 bullets account for one idea. And again, that becomes too problematic, grade 12s. Okay, you must not do that. Again, you copy word for word. Remember, we always say, try to use your own words as far as possible. I would say, try that method first, and try it for as long as you can, especially if you know very well that there is so much more practice that you can put into it. The reason for this is that, one, we account for how well your skills would be over time. But I think, secondly, and the most important thing is that you improve based on how confident you become when using your own words. Okay, you improve based on how confident you become when using your own words. What you should do: 1, put down or pull out all your main ideas. Okay, so put down your main ideas, or you can pull out all your main ideas. Okay, all the main ideas that you see in the text, pull them out. You can highlight, you can reference, you can do all that stuff. Remember to focus on key details. Okay, use keywords and phrases. Use keywords and phrases, and then break down the larger ideas. You see, those larger ideas, guys, please break them down. Break them down into, what is the point of this? Like a big sentence, can be broken down into about 6 or 7 words. That's what we want. Okay. And then write only enough to convey the gist. And then, as well, write succinct but complete sentences. Write succinct but complete sentences. Okay. I'm going to leave this here for a while. Focus your attention on the topic. That's what you need to do when you are given a summary to write. Okay, lovely. So, like I said, you need to focus your attention on the topic. Part of the reason for this is, guys, the way summaries are dodgy, the way they're so dodgy, they will give you a topic, um, and the topic could be, and I think I was doing this with the grade 11s the other day, and I think I can't remember what the topic was. I'll tell you. I think the topic was on it was on the effects of. I think it was on drug. It was the topic was yeah. The topic was on. I think it was drug use or the ultimate effects of drug use, and half of that passage had like unnecessary detail, of the history of drugs and organizations, where you can get help, and some people who've used drugs before, and how they've actually come full circle and all that stuff. The topic was the effects of drug use. Learners were asked, or they were instructed to write a summary, on the, of course, on the article, of course, while paying close attention to the topic. The way that passage was written, it made it seem as though everything in that passage, or everything in it, was so necessary. And besides everything being so necessary, it made it seem as though the detail of the passage itself, or the detail of the text, was impossible to condense. Why? Because everything that was in that passage was important, but the focus of the passage was what? The effects of drug use. So what some learners ended up doing is that they ended up including things like organizations, as well as what organizations can have and what organizations can do when it comes to summary writing and all of that. And what organizations can do with regards to drug use, and all the passage asked for was on the effects of drug use. So be very careful. Identify the aspects, okay, topic that you need to summarize. Okay, that's very important. And then write the topic in large bold letters at the top of your planning page, and then follow the steps below. Number 1, step 1 is what? Delete. Pick out the less important or repeated ideas from the passage and eliminate them. Pick them out and eliminate them. Delete, 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 delete. Okay. What you can also want to delete are things like adjectives and adverbs. What you may also want to delete, are perhaps like names of, they love putting names of organizations and and stuff. Delete all of that. Okay, that shouldn't be in the summary, because the minute they put 2 or 3 organizations in the passage that you're supposed to summarize, you already know that all those 3 organizations, given their names, become one thing. So you will refer to them as organizations or as associations. Okay. Step 2 is substitute. Substitute. Take all unnecessary words and reduce phrases to one word. Okay, where possible. Reduce phrases to one word where possible. Please, please, please. Where you can, okay, if possible by any means, try to reduce these phrases to one word. So remember, step 1, we delete. Step 2, we substitute. Step 3, You highlight the important details using keywords. Highlight the important details using keywords. What do those important details mean? What are they referring to? What are they talking about? You highlight all of them using keywords. Okay. And then you've got these additional steps. Okay, so remember the first 3 steps. Let's go back. The first 3 steps we delete. So we take out anything that's unnecessary. Everything that's repeated, we just delete it. Then we substitute. So unnecessary words and phrases, where possible, we just condense them to one word. And then what do? Last step, okay? But remember, there are additional steps. Last steps, we keep or we just highlight the important details using keywords. Okay, that's the last step. But there are additional steps. Let's go. What are they? Lovely. Additional steps of writing a good summary. Step 4, you list. We need you to list. So after keeping, list keywords in the order they appeared in the list and trim them to topic sentences. List the keywords in the order they appeared and trim them to topic sentences. What this is going to do for you guys is that it's going to give you an idea. Sometimes they may not make sense. Sometimes those topic sentences may not make sense. That's the point. That's the point of editing. It's the point of taking things out and, and making sure that, well, you take this particular idea that is broad and then you condense it to one small thing. That's the point of it all. Okay. So before you perfect anything or before you produce a proper correct result, you need to ensure that things don't make sense, of course, and you need to ensure that while you drive yourself to an extent where you are actually now seeing the results of stuff that you're dealing with. Okay. Step 5, write a short summary in your own words. So write that short summary in your own words. Write that short summary in your own words. Write. You will see, because now it's supposed to start making sense. It's supposed to start making sense. So the 5 steps of summary writing, or of writing a good summary: you delete, you substitute, you keep. Delete all unnecessary words, phrases, repetitions, examples. You substitute whatever it is that you've deleted using one word or one phrase or maybe 2 words or whatever. So if I've listed, pears and oranges, avocados and apples, all those become fruit, okay, or fruits, depending on how you're writing. Then you substitute, don't forget you substitute. And then you keep the specific ones that you keep and the certain things that you keep, definitely. After which, what do? You then list. You start listing. Start listing all the good things that are now remaining in your passage. And then what do? You write your summary. Okay. You write your summary. Okay. Let's see. We will practice here. I'm going to give you 5 minutes, okay, to look at the summary, to look at this passage. It says, summarize the following passage: the first mission to Pluto. Okay, summarize it. Remember, follow the steps. Okay, so let's see. So it says the first ever space mission to Pluto has successfully launched from Florida. NASA's New Horizon probe blasted off at 7 p.m. GMT. GMT stands for Greenwich Meridian Time or timeline, on an Atlas V rocket for a 9-year journey to the ninth planet in our solar system. The launch was delayed by 2 days after windy weather and power problems made takeoff conditions impossible. Pluto is the furthest planet from Earth, and it is more than 3 billion miles away. It is the only one never to have been explored by a spacecraft. So, what do you do when you summarize or when you need to summarize a text like this? How would you do it? Let's see. Look at the removal of all that unnecessary information. Mhm. I'll give you another 5 minutes to look at this. Remember, we're dealing with the removal of all the unnecessary information. The remove, delete, 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 then substitute after that. Okay, it says here the probe will move at a speed of 10 miles per second to get to Pluto by 2015. The craft, which cost £396 million, which is $700 million, was the fastest spacecraft ever launched and was expected to reach Earth's moon in 9 hours and Jupiter in just over a year. New Horizon won't actually land on Pluto, but will pass close by to take pictures of the icy planet and beam them back to Earth. It's an unmanned mission, but NASA has put an American flag inside the craft and a CD containing the names of around 500,000 people who signed up to their website. There you go. Remove, remove, remove. Can you see what they've done there? The probe will get to Pluto by 2015. New Horizon won't land on Pluto, but will take pictures of the planet and beam them back to Earth. Okay, I would have still removed like and beamed them back to Earth. Okay, it's an unmanned mission is removed. Okay, so well, NASA has put an American flag inside the craft and the CD containing names. Okay. Yeah, they will just say like of 500,000 people or whatever. Okay. There's the final summary. There's the final summary. Okay. I'm going to give you another for that, okay? But before that, final word of warning. Avoid lifting by trying to write the summary in your own words, okay? So please avoid lifting from the passage. Try as much as possible to write the summary in your own words. 2, avoid the use of figurative language, reported speech, redundancy, repetition, examples, and illustrations. Okay, avoid all of that. 3, avoid being dishonest. Okay, by misstating the exact number of words that you've used. So don't use 97 words and say that you've used 90 words. Okay, English teachers are very, very sly. They'll see. I mean, they've been doing this for a long time. They'll see, definitely. Okay. Okay, so now you're going to try for yourself. Okay, you're going to try for yourself. There's an example here. Okay, it's of a past paper. Yeah. So I'll give you about 8 minutes to read through this. Okay, and then try to do a summary on your own. You're required to use your own words, or using your own words, summarize the passage in one fluent paragraph between 80 and 90 words. So you can write 81 words, you can write 89 words. Okay. Indicate your word count at the end of your summary. You're not required to provide a title. Marks will be deducted if you ignore these instructions. Okay, let's see. Try your summary now. Okay, I hope that you guys have taken pictures of that or screenshots, but I think I will definitely ensure that it is deposited in the work for you guys. Please just remember that this section on its own should take you about 30 minutes on average. I mean, it could take you less, to be honest. If you see if you start the exam, this is another tip that I gave to the grade 11s just the other day. If you start the exam with the summary or with the aim of starting the summary, you guys get 10 minutes reading time. In that 10 minutes reading time, so the exam's supposed to start at 9. At 8:50 you get this paper, okay? You already know you have to read, like you have to answer the whole question. Sorry, the whole question paper. So you just go to section B, summary. You look at the instructions, you see what you're supposed to be summarizing, you kind of know. What you then do is that, I mean, of course, in your mind, because you're reading, you're not supposed to be writing. The minute they go, listen, start writing, you start scratching, 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 scratching. You know what links where, you know what links where, you know what links where. And then you can start writing a flow paragraph. I guarantee you by 9:15, you will finish with the summary, or you'll be finished with the summary. Because what's the point? Because you've already read the stuff. The comprehension is going to take you so long, so long. I love starting with the summary. Okay, let's see what the possible solution is. Okay. There you go. This is just a guideline, remember? Okay, so the following main points are just a guideline. Number 1, words can cause far worse damage than physical injuries. Harassment often comes from electronic devices. It is becoming more widespread among teenagers everywhere. Its anonymity makes it the more threatening. Camera phones can be used to make false pictures. Parents need to be on the lookout for telltale signs, and open communication is vital. Okay, so those are like the main things. Okay, I know some of you might have said that, well, yeah, photoshopping is a thing, or pictures may be photoshopped. That would have been accepted. I think the more of your own words you use, the better. Okay, so marks will be awarded, as you know, 7 out of 7 for 7 points. 30% of your marks, remember, will come from language. 30% of your marks will come from language. Okay. So some of the penalties given: if the candidate has not presented the summary in the required format, the candidate should be penalized by deducting 1 mark from the total mark awarded. Okay. Thank you, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that lesson. You may contact us on STEM Digital School at africateamgeeks.co.za. Thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves.